Tell me your story as is. How long you been out here? What are you doing here?
Okay, I've been around doing this since summer of 1999. And I want to give her credit for because the Carrie Morrison, the CEO of this Hollywood Entertainment District, and she has a group like a board of directors or whatever they call themselves. Anyways, she works for with a group that kind of runs this entertainment district in terms of formed a corporation back in '96 or '97, somewhere back in there, to take over the deficiencies in the city. Example. They take care of the day-to-day cleanup on this boulevard, and also the security detail. You see the blue shirt security guards, sometimes patrolling in a white SUV, sometimes in pairs walking the streets up and down. Because LAPD does very little of that, so they need more protection against, for crime deterrence and stuff. So they have the private guard service doing that, and they contract that out to it. And then the other is the cleaning company. This is I hired this company, the name you see here, the Queen Street, as of May or June of '99. And they replaced the HBT, which was good, but then they didn't do coverage on stuff like this. They did the general work and they did well, but they didn't do the detail work on this kind of stuff, which is peculiar to the Walk of Fame. And they would have had to, but anyway, they decided to change it over. And she convinced the new company to take me on board as to do these. I was doing it for a dozen or so individual merchants, and that's how for a couple of years earlier. And she got, this is where Carrie Morrison got the idea that the new company could pick me up, and this would be the first time it would be done on a large scale all over the place. It started policing and cleanup.
So you're just telling me that tourists aren't given as much as they used to. Is it a sign of the times?
It very probably is. Energy. It was thought it'd be energy. The high gas, about $4.70-80 a gallon gas. That cuts into a lot of the tourist and vacation plans. People stay home. They go to the local amusement parks, the local movie theaters, the local beaches. They're in LA, they're a coastal city, so they take advantage of that rather than fly or drive to go to much farther distant places because of the energy. But then this economy is just kind of the bottom fell out of the stock market, and people are losing everything from retirement funds to 401ks to 501s, and this thing and that and the other thing. Some of them losing their jobs, therefore health care and other things that they want to try to hold on to. And so that's cutting into it further. And it's not the volume of tourism has gone down, of course. Seasonally, it would anyway. It's gone down below normal. A normal, like, the two tourist seasons. Mid-May to about the end of September. The big summer tour, that's your big tourist season. Schools around, people can travel with kids and babies and families.
So
kids.
You pretty much
for about 6 weeks, from about a week before Thanksgiving to a week after New Year, there's another shorter winter time tourist season. Again, people travel and see places like this. But it's gone way down below, like last year and the year before. You see, it's way down compared to last year and the year before.
So you pretty much survive off donations?
No, I get salary from this company. I did before Carrie Morrison got me hired with that company when it took over, replaced HBT in '99. Before then, I was doing it for donations. Well, some of the shops would pay me for keeping theirs up, and next thing you know, the guy next door would want his done because it looked so damn good, the ones I was doing. So I had maybe about a dozen of these. A guy like this would give me maybe free sodas, maybe another one would give me maybe a pizza about every 2 or 3 times I do theirs, and others would give me a few dollars in cash, like the guy who does the windows glass cleaning, for his little few dollars and that kind of thing there. I myself lost a job when a lot of the TV companies went out of business in the mid-90s, TV repair.
Is that what you did before you ended up on the streets?
I did that for 25 years, yeah.
How did you end up on the streets?
Well, like I said, I lost a job in 97, in January 97. The company didn't go out of business till later, but I just gave it up because I knew he was going down the drain. I could see it going, so I just said that.
Okay.
just got a little bit ahead of it there, and studied this before I it's a street just down here, so I was really kind of like prepared for it and ready to go. And using it as a temporary, then when a job would come available, I would use it as they would say, like springboard and go back the other way. I planned it to be a temporary situation, not ongoing, like these guys that don't plan their future. They don't know what tomorrow's going to look like, or next week, or next year. I had something planned up ahead of me, So that was, and then when I got hired by the company in '99, so now I've been with them for 9 years and maybe 5-6 months, whatever the deal is. And if I'm with them by next, say maybe June or July or whatever, I got to check the hiring date on that thing. So it'll be a 10-year anniversary.
Wow.
Next summer.
You've been doing this for over almost 10 years.
So, but I was tinkering with these things and chemicals, and I was watching like Scientology, clean your buildings and brass and ornaments and fixtures, and I got some ideas on how to get these things into much better shape than they were at the time I was fooling around with these things. And the good old high school chemistry.
So what's the issues of homelessness out here?
Terrible.
Could you talk about that? How do people survive? What's going on? You see it getting worse?
Well, if the economy is getting worse, you're going to see more of that. Rents are about as high as they can possibly be. They always have even in good times. That's why everybody that rents an apartment has roommates, like the college kids do when they live in off-campus apartments instead of in the dormitory, and to be bound by their campus rules. Lights out at a certain hour, no partying, no smoking in the buildings, this, that, and the other. So they rent apartments outside the campus. They share. They keep the cost down. They sometimes be 3, 4, 5, 6 people living in one apartment and sharing it. This is what's going on over here because the rents are just so high. As far as homelessness, the people that, some of them, because you got the subway, since the subway began running in 1999, the Metro subway is bringing more and more of them from downtown LA up to here. And there's a big project that's been going on for several years to renovate and revitalize downtown LA, bring it up to where it's more touristically business friendly now.
What do you think the solution is?
It would be forcing some of the homeless guys to come up this way.
What do you think the solution is? How can people help?
It isn't easy. That's why it's been around. The problem has been so chronic. It's been so long. It's not a new problem, really. It's been around, but it's just been getting more and more worse because the economy is going down the drain, and the jobs are harder to find. Those are a lot of these guys have mental problems, and your healthcare system is being cut to the bone because if you're the state economy, it's much worse than the national economy, way worse. In fact, what I'm thinking is the state will delay the national economic recovery and slow down its recovery. Because the state is in very bad shape, fiscally and economically. Just the other day, Schwarzenegger had to get the legislature in the special emergency session to revisit that budget that was almost 3 months late. Because the cash flow from reduced sales tax revenues and lottery sales are way down, and people are just paying back on everything. So therefore, there are billions of dollars in the hole deeper than they thought they were. So now they're having to revisit. He said they're having to cut from like education, between $2 to maybe $4 billion cuts in education from the state to the counties and cities that run their public schools.
We only have a few seconds left. What do you want people to know about you?
Well, you mean me personally, or my description of this?
You personally. You got about 10 seconds. What do you want people to know?
Okay, this has the potential for being one of the world's greatest resorts, but we need to get a lot of things turned around, and we need to restore and reopen these movie theaters and get a lot of hotels and hostels and inns, low and medium price as well as the high end, to get more thousands of tourists to stay in the area so they spend their money in the area. Where they stay, they spend their money.
Wow.
It's been a proven fact it's been known for centuries. It's something new. And this is what this area needs to get its economic situation better.